The home of the common Joe and the common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads.
Seems like we have a little bit of gnashing of the teeth by a lot of the Pac-12 people out there. You don't know what to believe from day to day. We heard the other day that they're going to sign a grant of rights, and the Arizona athletic director turned around and said, I don't know anything about that. You have Pac-12, I guess you could call it dying hearts, like this guy named Tony Altimore, who is actually a USC guy, so I don't know why he's pissing his little panties about it. But they continue to say there's no way that the Pac-12 would ever diminish themselves or soil themselves by joining the Big 12. Well, Tony, I think it's all wishful thinking on your part, brother. But you elitist wannabes out there, think y'all about to get checked. As in checkmate. Let's talk about it. Like that old Motley Crue song once said, don't go away, mad girl. Just go away, Pac-12. Just go away. And before I get to all that, I would like to say that this is the Outlaw of College Football. That's me, the OCF. Also, I can be found on Twitter at OCF Productions and on Facebook under Jesse Paul Clark, spelled Jesse without the I. Now, getting right to it here. Seems like the Pac-12 people out there are gnashing their teeth a little bit. They just don't want to come to the realization. They're in denial that they're probably about to get closed down. And if they don't, they're just going to have to invite a bunch of Mountain West teams to fill out their conference. And it's going to be the Mountain West with the Pac-12 mask, as I've said numerous times ad nauseum. And one guy in particular that I heard about was named Tony Altimore. The guy is a pretty pompous guy to me because he goes around talking about how people shouldn't, make little insults at each other and say certain things, but yet he's on here doing the same thing, the very same thing that he and his cohorts are crying about when it gets done to them. Here was his little quote. No Pac-12 school, or Pac-10 now, Tony. No Pac-10 school is ever going to the Big 12. Clickbait YouTubers and nasty BYU fan liars. Wow, where'd you come up with that? The 12 Anon. No one's ever going to join that conference from the Pac-10. Really. I mean, USC and UCLA left for the Big 10. Oh, that's right, I forgot. The Big 10 is prestigious and academic. You better let go of that because it's a little naive to think that academics are the driving force in these realignments. This has nothing to do with your academics and how much money your rich alumnus can give you as far as academics goes. I know it's more money than what the TV deals are offering in these football deals, but the conferences were never predicated and formed based on academics. They were formed based on athletics. And so that's what's important in this whole thing. And if it wasn't, why is everybody trying to get the best football and basketball schools? If it's about athletics, why ain't they out there trying to get MIT to join the ACC? Why ain't they trying to get Harvard to join the Big 10? The AAU stuff and all that hubbaloo that you're spitting out there, Tony boy, and the rest of you, it's emasculation, man. Y'all been emasculated for so long that and you're even a USC guy and y'all leaving to go to the Big 10 and you still got your panties in a bunch over it. Oh, and let me backtrack for a second to that BYU comment. What is it with you and BYU and some of these other people? Some of the Utah fans, I don't get it, man. Utah, they used to be in a G5 conference, and they all of a sudden they think they're so much better than BYU. What is your angst with BYU? You mad because they went ahead and joined the Big 12? Y'all had a chance to join BYU, but once again, that snotty-ass attitude where you think you're better than somebody when you're not, over some religious stuff, screwed you. You could have had BYU. BYU's got a huge following. A huge following. And their academics are pretty good. And they've won a national championship in football, which a lot of Pac-12 schools have not. And also, a little backtracking on the Big Ten stuff. Like I said with the Big 12, don't be mad at the Big 12, be mad at the Big 10. The Big 12 didn't take any of your schools. The Big 10 did. But yet you're mad at the Big 12 for even thinking about it. But the Big 10 took your two biggest markets, but they're not the ones that's going to have blood on their hands. Yeah, right. It's nobody's fault that y'all were dumb enough to believe the Big Ten and the ACC to some degree that y'all had a closely knit alliance and none of your teams were going to be taken. Y'all believe Kevin Warren's snaky ass, and now you got what you got. I don't understand why the Pac-12 people are so mad at the Big 12 people. Because they're talking about taking some of your members? You need to be mad at the Big 10. You know, the conference that Stockholm syndromed you for the better part of 70 or 80 years with a whole Rose Bowl farce, the little two-team tie-in that made everybody else have to have tie-ins. Y'all screwed us out of the playoff for about 70 or 80 years. You little being led around by a leash like a lost puppy by the Big Ten. Well, now you're in the Big Ten. You can just be another one of their bitches from now on. But y'all shouldn't be mad at the Big 12 and gnashing teeth on them and calling them names. Y'all get mad when people call y'all certain names out there in old liberal land out there in California. But when y'all do it, it's okay, right? You think it makes you a big man, makes you cool to go around calling people the truck stop conference and that kind of deal? You basically making light, and you may try to twist it and say you're not, but you are. You're making light of people that are truck drivers and people that work at truck stops or people that go there to eat and drink stuff. You mean to tell me you've never got off the interstate and stopped at a truck stop, Tony? Yeah, just like I said, elitist bull. So congratulations, man. You're cool as hell by making fun of those kind of things, man. So since you're going to do that kind of stuff, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it to y'all, man. And if y'all get mad and try to conjure up some stuff, I'm going to call you out on it every single time, just like I'm calling you out on this. The Pac-12 is going down, Tony boy, whether you like it or not, man. I mean, get over it. Even if they do a little grant of rights and they stay together for another couple of years, man, all that is like putting a Band-Aid on cancer, man. So stop with the elitist bullshit and taking shot at clickbaiters on YouTube. Really? Do you have a channel, Tony? I'm not sure if you do, but if you do have a YouTube channel, everybody wants you to click on their channel because that's how you make money, son. And for you to call out YouTube clickbaiters, really? Like you're some kind of elitist guy above all that and above the fray? You ain't nothing but a Twitter attention whore, man. If people didn't click on and look at your stuff on Twitter, then you wouldn't probably have a job right now. Once again, hypocrisy coming from the left coast out there. But it's not going to help y'all. Because in the end, what's going to happen, more than likely, is if it don't happen now, in the future, because they've already been vetted, Oregon and Washington's going to go to the Big Ten. Okay? And then the Big 12 is going to have more money to offer those other schools than your forlorn angst and love for the Pac-12 to stay together. It's just going to be a better deal at that point for Arizona, Colorado, Utah, and Arizona State to leave and go to the Big 12, and they will. And when they do, you'll probably come out with something to try to deflect and save face, but it's not going to happen because I'm on you. I've been put on to you, man, and I'm going to call you out, man. Every time you make stupid-ass elitist comments like this, you're going to get called out on it. Also, the Pac-12, here's another thing. The Pac-12 is not only being sued by Comcast, but they're being sued by the Holiday Bowl. And they don't have a TV contract. So how can you say it with a matter-of-factly tone and try to talk down to people for believing otherwise than what you believe in? when all this stuff is going on, Tony. It's stuff that would make any person that's not vested in the Pac-12 believe that maybe the Pac-12 is about to go down. And if it don't go down, if they're still there by name, it'll only be a name, and there will no longer be a Power 5 conference because they have a bunch of Mountain West teams in there. And Stanford and California will probably be stuck with them, and your little snotty, snubby attitudes about academics will have gotten them absolutely nowhere. And that's all I got to say about that. If you don't mind, there's a little heart down here. Hit the heart thanks button, hit that. Also, there's a little join button by the subscribe button. Now you can join the Outlaw Posse for $2.99 a month. Only 75 cents a week. We'll saddle you up a horse and we'll get you in a posse and you'll help us do all this college football invasion. And with that, I'm out of here. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.